Hey guys, what's up? Thank you so much for tuning in. Today's episode is this look. I have been doing this look for the past couple of weeks, and I've actually tried to film this tutorial a couple of times. But anyway, I think finally we're there. So I'm basically using a lot of liquid products to kind of set my base, and then I'm just using a powder foundation on top to sort of set everything down, act as sort of a foundation to kind of even out my skin tone, kind of blur some things out, and set all of those liquid products that I use first. So it's been a really different routine for me to get into, but I really love the results because I love how subtly glowing my skin looks. You know, it doesn't look like I have too much highlighter on, but there's definitely a nice pretty sheen to my skin, which I've been loving. So if you want to see how I achieve this look, then just keep on watching. So some things that you'll need to achieve this look. I start with an illuminating moisturizer. I have the Tom Ford Radiant Moisture Souffle. You can use any sort of illuminating moisturizer. I think Glam Glow makes one. Bobbi Brown I think makes one. You can even use like the Becca backlight priming filter, something like that. I like to start off with sort of a nice glowy base. And then I go in with concealer. So I'm going to use a liquid one around my eyes, and then I use a more dense one to kind of cover up my blemishes and any sort of discoloration that I may have. So I use the NARS Soft Matte Creamy Concealer for that. And then I go in with my liquid products. So I use a liquid highlighter. I use the Fluid Sheer. Of course, you can go ahead and use like the Marc Jacobs Dewdrops, the Sephora Radiant Luminizing Drops, something like that. Anything that you may have in your collection. I also use a liquid bronzer. This is also a Fluid Sheer. This is in the shade number 10, which I really love. And then I go in with a liquid blush. Again, I use an Armani Fluid Sheer, and this is in number 17. And then after that, you'll just need a powder foundation. I love the Armani Luminous Silk powder foundation. I have it in the shade 4.5. It's awesome. If you guys have any powder foundation suggestions, please put them in the comments below. This is the only one that I've ever come across and tried and really, really enjoyed. So I love that. And then, you know, your brows, mascara, and then I just used two eyeshadows. I use a light color all over my lid and then a darker color kind of to line my eyes and to deepen up the outer corner. And then for the lips, I just use a lip liner, lip gloss combo. So those are basically the things that you'll need if you want to kind of, I don't know, follow along with my tutorial, or if you want to do it later. But if you want to achieve this look, those are the things that I use. So let's get into the tutorial. I'm going to start with my illuminating moisturizer. So I have the Tom Ford Radiant Moisture Souffle. Next, I'm going to do some concealing. So I have a little bit of a breakout here. I want to cover up sort of like the redness around my nose, definitely the discoloration around my eyes. So I'm going to use the by Terry Terribly Denseless concealer that I love. I'm going to use that around my eyes, and I have it in the color 2 Vanilla Beige. Yep. And I'm using a Giorgio Armani, I think they call this a foundation, but maybe a blender brush. And then next I'm going to use my Soft Matte Complete Concealer from NARS. I have it in the shade 2 Vanilla. And I'm just going to use my ring finger, dab right in, and just go over these blemishes and red spots I have on my face. And then I have a little bit of redness on my chin that I'm going to cover up. So if I was doing more of like a full glam look, I would probably, you know, really get into like spot concealing all of my imperfections, my spots and everything. But since this is sort of a more of a glowy, natural, kind of easy summer look, I'm just gonna do that. Just sort of even out my complexion, not go too crazy. And then I'm gonna go in with my liquid bronzer, and I'm using the Giorgio Armani Fluid Sheer in the color number 10. And important to shake these up. And I'm just going to use one pump on the back of my hand, fairly runny. And again, I'm going to use my Armani blender brush, and I'm just going to use that where I would normally add bronzer. So this product moves around quite a bit, so I like to kind of use the brush to kind of lay it down, blend it in a little bit, and then I like to just finish it off with, you know, kind of tapping of my fingers. Otherwise, I feel like if you keep using this, you're just going to start to move it around. So there you can see just a little bit of like a subtle bronzy shading there in my cheekbones, around my forehead, and along my jawline. All right, so next I'm gonna highlight. I'm gonna use the Armani Fluid Sheer in number 2. One of my favorites. This was the first fluid sheer that I bought and I got hooked. So again, I'm just gonna use one pump on the back of my hand. I'm gonna use the Tom Ford Shade and Light brush. No, I'm going to use the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate brush. You could use the same brush that you used for the bronzer, but I'm just too lazy to kind of clean this off. So I'm just going in with a fresh brush, dipping it into the product, and I'm just going to tap that where I want. And you can see it just adds like such a beautiful, subtle, natural glow. I use my finger and tap that in. And then I'm going to apply some down my nose. Okay, and then next I'm going to go in with a liquid blush. Again, I have a fluid sheer. This is in number 17. Don't forget to shake. I'm going to use the same Tom Ford brush to lay down the product. And I'm going to start right here on my cheekbone. And then I'm going to take more of a fluffy brush and just ever so gently start to blend that in, like I'm barely touching my skin with this brush. And this is an e.l.f. I believe it's not labeled, but I think it's called like a blending brush. And again, this product moves around quite a bit, so I'm pretty gentle with the blending. I'm not, you know, working it in too hard. So one last thing I'm going to do before I actually use my powder foundation is I'm going to lay down some eyeshadow primer potion. So next I'm going to go in with my powder foundation, and I'm just going to lightly kind of dust this all over to sort of, you know, even out my skin tone, blur any imperfections, set everything down. And I'm using the Armani Luminous Silk Compact Dual Use Powder Compact, because I think you can use this wet as well, which I never have. But I have it in the shade 4.5. I've dropped it, so it looks a little crazy. And I'm going to use an Armani face brush. I'm not sure, but this is their biggest brush. It's like their powder brush. And just sort of lightly buff that in. I don't want to cover up all of what the fluid sheer is doing, so I'm just sort of lightly kind of patting that on top. There, so that's it. I feel like, you know, I've set down everything. I feel like I've put on like a nice layer of this sort of foundation that's kind of, you know, evened out my skin tone, but it's left that fluid sheer, that sort of satiny finish. I just love it. All these products work really, really well together. So next I'm just going to use the Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel in Espresso. If you guys have seen any of my videos, I probably mention this at least once in every video, but I love it. And it's such a great, easy, one-step brow solution. Can you see the difference? Amazing. Brows are done. So I've been loving these new Chanel Ombre Premier shadows. So I'm gonna use color Sable all over my lid. And I'm just taking a blending brush. What is this? The e.l.f. crease brush. And then I'm going to take this darker color, this Vizon. It's like a dark brown color. And a pencil brush. And I'm going to try and get as close to my upper lash line as possible. And then I'm going to take that crease brush that I used for the all over lighter shade, and I'm going to darken the outer corner with this dark color. And then I'm going to take the pencil brush and apply some of it to my lower lash line just to darken that up a little bit. And then I'm going to curl my eyelashes and apply some mascara off camera. I will be right back. So I just used the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise on my lashes. And then last but not least, the lips, and I'm gonna go ahead and use Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk Lip Cheat and line my lips and kind of fill in a little bit. And then I'm going to use the Surratt Beauty Lip Luster Lip Gloss in the color Au Naturel. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that tutorial on this super simple, glowy powder foundation look. I've been doing it pretty much nonstop for the past couple of weeks. I just really like the kind of effect that I get on my skin because it's so natural looking. I think people really kind of can't figure out whether or not it's makeup. Is it natural? Is it just this glow that she has? So I've really been enjoying it. Please comment down below with any products that you've been using to achieve like a nice glowy summertime look, or what you've been doing as your routine. I would love to hear. And please subscribe down below if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video.